Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. Got a pretty interesting show for you here today. Going to talk the Chiefs, the NFL, and of course, if we're talking the Chiefs, we're talking Taylor Swift. So get ready for that one. I know, right? You wouldn't ever expect me to talk about Taylor Swift, but we're going to do it anyway. Before we get to that, if you haven't already and you're here on YouTube, please go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure we get to getting as many subscribers as we can so we can start doing these call-in shows. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in the Format Podcast. We should come right up. Give us that like, that 5-star review, and share the pod if you're enjoying the content, and certainly leave us a comment. We love the comments and we always try to get back to those. You do these, you know what happens. We rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us, and gets us there to where we can start doing these live call-in shows and really take the show to the next level for the year 2024. Appreciate all that. Anyway, let's get right to it. Okay, so if you're a sports fan, especially a football fan, and chances are if you're watching the show, you are. Why? Because football is the most popular sport in the United States by a wide mile. NFL football is the one, but college football as well. But we're talking NFL today. So if you're watching the show, you know that the Kansas City Chiefs are now headed to their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. And we know who the major players on that team are, right? Head coach Andy Reid, generational, and this is no exaggeration when they say generational, but generational quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who may well be on the path to becoming the greatest quarterback of all time, and he is doing it at a fast pace. But that's another show to discuss all that. And of course, superstar Hall of Fame bound tight end Travis Kelce. And why is Travis Kelce important today? Why? Because of Taylor Swift, of course. Now, this is funny, right? So if you know anything about pop culture, and I'm not the big pop culture guy, I am a sports guy, but this is one of those situations where pop culture and sports are really, crossing over on one another. And it's so interesting to see because we found out early in the season that Travis Kelce and music megastar, I don't even know if megastar is the right word, music icon, maybe, Taylor Swift are dating. They're in a relationship. And so she's been at, I think, 12 of the games this year. And, so we've been seeing all year that when she's at these games, every time Travis Kelce does something, they always pan to her in the box. And I was one of those people. I know a lot of people are asking, why do they feel the need to show Taylor Swift all the time? And I was one of those people like, okay, she's there. We get it. She's famous. We get it. She's Travis Kelce's girlfriend. We get it. But this is not a normal situation. The NFL is ingenious when it comes to marketing. And these are just other reasons why the NFL is king. And so I was wondering, like I said, why do they keep showing her all the time? And did a little digging, did a little research, and it's found out that whenever they show her on TV, and it's not that long, it's like a quick couple seconds or whatever, but whenever they show her, the numbers spike in terms of attention, rating, eyeballs, blah, blah, blah. The numbers spike. And the league, they know that. They have people watching every metric. Why? Because the number one television show in the United States of America is the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard this stat today. It's crazy. Last year, 93 of the top 100 television shows viewed in the United States were NFL games. That's bonkers, right? And this year, the 3 rounds of the playoffs so far have broken all previous viewing records for the NFL in the United States, which, as a quick side note, the NBA better figure out what they're doing, because whatever they're doing it's not great, and they are getting lapped and left in the dust in terms of TV and popularity in the States. But it is what it is. Again, that's a show for another day. But yeah, so they show Taylor Swift and the numbers spike and all that. And here's the crazy part, right? I was doing some research trying to figure out, like, what is the deal with this? Now, the NFL, again, marketing geniuses, they figure if we can work Taylor Swift into our brand, and the Chiefs, I'm sure, already figured this out a lot earlier. The NFL figures we work Taylor Swift into our brand, we can open up a whole new demographic that wasn't necessarily football fans. And it's actually been the case. You have young girls ages 8 to 15. Well, I guess young girls and teenagers, and then young women from that, like that 13 to 21 demographic, who may not even have been football fans, but were what? Swifties, right? Big Taylor Swift fans. Now they're tuning into the NFL. Why? Because Taylor Swift is there. And that is the power that she holds as being, one of the biggest musical icons on the globe now. Matter of fact, to speak to her greatness as a musician, I believe she is the first musician to have a tour that generated $1 billion in revenue. Crazy, right? I think Beyonce, the other person that you would say would be her rival in terms of um, how great she is as a musician, how successful and how iconic, and Beyonce is just that. But I think her biggest tour was only generated over 500 million. Now, this is not to take a shot at Beyonce in any way. Beyonce is awesome. We know what an incredible performer she is. We know what an incredible person she seems to be. It was just a comparison because those are the two biggest musical stars, at least on the female side today. So that's why I brought up those numbers. But the point I'm trying to make is Taylor Swift she commands an incredible audience. The NFL knows this and they are taking advantage of it. And so in looking this up to try and figure out, hey, what is the big deal with Taylor Swift? Because again, I'm sure you could tell I'm not a big pop culture guy, right? When it comes to music, Taylor Swift does have some good songs, but I'm a hip hop guy, 90s, 2000s, 80s. I love that kind of stuff. So I'm not sitting around listening to Taylor Swift albums, and that's no shot on her. But the point I'm trying to make is she is incredible. She is incredibly popular, seems incredibly likable. And the NFL, being that they have, the pulse of the people, they know what they're doing. So this is crazy because according to, let's see, I'm reading an article here, and this is on Total Pro Sports, but I think they got their numbers from somewhere else. So I'll tell you when I get it. But this says Taylor Swift reportedly helped the Kansas City Chiefs make well over $250 million throughout the 2023 season, which is crazy. So data comes from the Apex Marketing Group, and it states that Taylor Swift has helped the Chiefs and the NFL generate more than $330 million in equivalent brand revenue this season. Quote, everybody knows Taylor Swift has had a massive impact in the NFL this year, and many might be wondering exactly how to measure it. Now, some of the results are in. Swift has generated an equivalent brand value of $331.5 million for the Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL. Apex Marketing Group tells Front Office Sports. That number, calculated on January 22nd, comes from print, digital, radio, TV highlights, and social media mentioning Taylor Swift going back to her first game on September 24th, then figuring out the equivalent dollar value for each instance based on reach and impact. Online news and digital content has created the most value, followed by social media, Apex President Eric Smallwood says. For reference, back in mid-October, that figure was sat at 166 million, Smallwood says, unquote. So you see the economic impact that Taylor Swift has had for the NFL and for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's absolutely incredible. I mean, who could have imagined? And so that's just the power that you have when you're an iconic figure in whatever your field is. And it doesn't hurt that she's dating arguably the greatest tight end to ever play the position, and one of the modern stars of the NFL today. And so it's not like she's a mid-level musical star and he is a mid-level O-lineman or something. They are quote unquote a power couple, and it is incredible to see the impact that she's had. And again, I was that guy and I was saying, what's the big deal? And I'm just like, wow, now I get the big deal. The NFL knows what they're doing. The Chiefs know what they're doing. Everyone gets it. Apparently I was the only one who didn't. So something Travis Kelce has said about conversations he's had with Taylor Swift over public attention regarding their relationship. And this is a tweet by, or I guess a tweet on X by Entertainment Tonight. And Travis Kelce says, the only thing we've talked about is as long as we're happy, we can't listen to anything that's outside noise. That's all that matters. And it's interesting because we've heard some funny things like Taylor Swift is she's a curse on the Chiefs. I don't know where that came from. Taylor Swift, when she's in attendance, is the Chiefs are actually 9-3 this season. So doesn't sound like a curse to me. And Travis Kelce actually plays better when she's in attendance. So it's like, I think he averages 6 catches and about 78 yards per game when she's there. And when she's not, he's at 6 catches and about 55 yards per game. Might not be exactly 55, but he's in the 50s. So right there. So you see the drop off in production when she's not there. So it is extremely interesting. We've seen her multiple times up in the booth at the games with his family. His brother, Jason Kelce, who's Hall of Fame bound as a center, just finished playing with the Eagles and retired, with his mom earlier in the season. And this year with his father post game in the AFC Championship game. So she seems, you know, fairly ingrained in that family unit, which is cool. You know, you always want to see people happy. That's great. But it really is phenomenal to see the effect that she has managed to have on the game of football and on the Chiefs. And so I'm sure they love it having her around. So obviously the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. And I believe at that time she'll be doing a concert in Japan. But I think I heard that she'll be flying back to make sure that she's there in attendance for the Super Bowl to see if her man gets it done and finishes another one. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because when I saw those numbers, I thought this is absolutely insane. And not insane in a bad way, but insane because I had no idea, you know, how powerful she was. And that $331 million number, 1/3 of $1 billion she has generated for the league and for the Chiefs, that's wild. Anyway, what I want to know from you is what do you think about Taylor Swift? Do you think this is important? Do you think it was worth, you know, me doing a show on? What do you think about her effect on the NFL in terms of bringing a new demographic set of eyes to watch these games and to attend these games and to buy merchandise? Tell me, what are your thoughts on Taylor Swift and the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs? Leave your comments in the comment section. Can't wait to get back with you. I'll be with you next time, and I'm out. Peace.